What's going on, Melon Farmers? D-Mac here, back with another episode of the Halifax Buccaneers Franchise Mode. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. There's new videos coming all the freaking time. Like every day again. I know we stopped doing that for a little bit, but we're back. We're doing it every day. So we are in a wild card spot for the playoffs. We're in the number one wild card spot. We're currently 6 points into the playoffs at the trade deadline. You know what? Let's just jump right into it. We just want to get to the end of the season, and we want to get into the playoffs. So, up against the St. Louis Blues here in Halifax. First period, it is 2-1 for the St. Louis Blues. Korpisalo is in the net. Second period, 3-1 St. Louis. And in the third, we do a bit of a comeback, but it is a loss. A loss that we kind of can't afford to have right now. Teuvo Teravainen gets 2 assists in this game. Matt Siemens and Patrick McDonald still lighting it up on the goal sheet. So we're going to skip ahead. You know what? If there's no trade offers, that's fine by me. If there is some trade offers, we will look at them, I suppose, if they're at least halfway relatively decent. But we are just going to get right past the trade deadline. Oh my goodness, there's too many damn prompts. Oh my god. Okay, what is that? Eric Johnson, $5 million a year and a third for 2/5. Ah, man, as much as I would like, and he does expire, so he is a rental. So I'd have to give up 2 years worth of 5th round picks to get a 3rd rounder next year. I don't think it's really worth it for me, so we're going to hit advance day yet again. And I think this should take us pretty much past the trade deadline. I am going to have to go to edit lines, make sure Ryan fucking Chisholm is, still our goaltender yet again. Man, I just hate how long this takes. So they want to give me Michael Backlund and Rock Mantha, don't want to do it. He is the goalie of the future for us, man. I am not getting rid of him. So Kuznetsov is available to play in the team's next game. Something tells me he is back against Washington, actually. It's the 7th, yeah. So he is back against his old team, the Washington Capitals. So we are going to have to mark that date on the calendar. All right, so I'm going to have to go to edit lines and make sure that Ryan Chisholm is our starting goaltender. And then we can take Brendan Lemieux. Yeah, there we go. So we can take Brendan Lemieux off that top line. He gave us that +5 line chemistry bonus. So now with Ryan Chisholm in the net, hopefully we have a little more solid backstopping with this team, and then we get Kuzi back in the next game, and we need him to be healthy. First period, 1-1. Patty Mick gets one past Andrei Vasilevsky. And second period, 3-1. Matt Siemens and Jake Virtanen both score to make it 3-1. And to finish it all off, it's a 5-3 win. I will take it every damn day of the week. Who got what? Patty Mick by Teravainen, Matt Siemens by Patty Mick and Teravainen, Jake Virtanen by J.G. Pajot, Teravainen by Krug and Brendan Lemieux, and Matt Siemens by Kasperi Kapanen and Patrick McDonald. So Patrick McDonald is absolutely lighting it up this year in his first season. So we're going to advance day one more time, and then we're going to do some video editing to put Kuznetsov back and put everything back the way it should be. All right, there we go. Kuznetsov back on the team, back on his special teams lines, and now we're going to sim ahead, and we are taking on the Washington freaking Capitals. So we are still in that number one wild card spot. We are now, I believe, 6 points into that playoff spot, or 7 points into the playoff spot, however you want to look at it, and we will stimulate this one. I think we're going to play, I'm hoping, I actually didn't look to make sure Ryan Chisholm was actually going to be our starting goaltender in this one. So first period, it's 2-1 for the Washington Capitals, but that's all right. Second period, 3-2 for Washington. Can we come back in this one? No, we cannot, but we did make it respectable. It's a 5-4 loss to the Washington Capitals. Blippy himself by Obe Kubel and Jake Virtanen, Ryan Dzingel by Matt Siemens and Eric Gustafsson, Kapanen by Ryan Dzingel, and Obe Kubel by Virtanen and J.G. Pajot. J.G. Pajot, who turned out to be a pretty decent guy for us, right? So now we are going up against the just no good, failing New York Rangers. I honestly don't care who's in net in this game. We will see, because shutouts are pretty rare, so I'm assuming we're gonna let a goal in. And if we do, we'll see who's in net for us here. First period, 1-0, it's Patty Mick against Darcy Kemper. Second period, 2-0, it's Brendan Lemieux back down on that fourth line. And in the third, 4-0, never mind, Kasperi Kapanen gets 2. I got to check 3 stars of the night. It was Ryan Chisholm in the net getting a shutout. I think that's like shutout number 6 or 7 this year. So Patty Mick by Kuznetsov, welcome back. Brendan Lemieux by Matt Luff. Kasperi Kapanen with goals number 12 and 13 by Siemens, and one of them by Ryan Dzingel. So that is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Patrick McDonald, 72 points in his sophomore year so far. We are, I think, moving up the standings a little bit. And as much as I don't want to do it up against a good team like the Boston Bruins, we are going to have to go with Joonas Korpisalo in the net. Yeah, 6 shutouts on the season for Ryan Chisholm. He has played 52 out of 66 games. So we've got 16 games left this year, and the season is over. And in the next episode, we are going to do round 1 of the playoffs. All right, here we go. First period up against Boston in Boston. Boom, it's 0-0. So Korpisalo's holding his own, but they are out shooting us 10-6. Here we go. Second period. 3-0. Holy, Ryan Dzingel, Kasperi Kapanen, and Torrey freaking Krug. And in the third, it's a 5-0 victory. Pajot and Jake Virtanen putting them away. That's 2 shutouts. That's 2 games in a row where we've not allowed a goal. So Torrey Krug with his 9th by Teravainen and Patty Mick. Kasperi Kapanen with his 14th by Siemens and Blippy Stephen Johns. Oh, that's Seth Jones. Never mind. And then it's Dzingel with his 8th by Blippy Stephen Johns and Jamel Smith. Jake Virtanen with his 13th by Jamel Smith. And Pajot hitting double-digit goals by Patty Mick and Kuznetsov. So Patty Mick having another multi-point night. Both of them assists, and there's nothing wrong with that. He does need the assists. So now we have 81 points with 15 games to go. And my goodness, did the Islanders ever take off, man. The Islanders really took off lately. And we are, as we get up to this game against the Arizona Coyotes, we are now like 5 freaking points into a playoff spot. So that's less phenomenal, but we'll still, you know what, we're just going to go with it. We're going to deal with it. We're going to, make sure that Ryan Chisholm is in the net. We got Joonas Korpisalo back up above 900 right now, so that is phenomenal as well. Let's just take on the Arizona Coyotes, and let's see what we can accomplish. Can we keep this going? Can we keep playing strong? Keep that good play alive? First period, 3-0 Arizona. That's not a good way to start. Second period, 3-1. We're kind of coming back a bit. It's Gino Kuznetsov. And in the third, it's a 3-1 loss. So we got the Islanders breathing down our neck for that number 1 wild card spot. And I think, man, if we lose too many games, we're not really in a position where we can lose a lot of games, you know. And the worst thing that could happen is if we were to lose, oh my God, the Islanders, now they're within 2 points of us. Jesus, man, this is mental. All right, so now we got to take on the Edmonton Oilers, who as well, you know, are a struggling team. So let's see if we can get a nice little bit of wiggle room there ahead of the Islanders, who are on a hell of a hot streak right now. So first period, it's 2-0 Edmonton, Draisaitl and David Perron. Second period, 3-0 for the Oilers. And in the third, it's 4-2, another loss for the Halifax Buccaneers, man. So it's Kasperi Kapanen with number 15 by Pajot and Patty Mick. And Nick Aube-Kubel with his 18th goal of the season by Seth Jones and J.G. Pajot. So Patrick McDonald has really started to slow down on the goal scoring the last little while, I've noticed. But he is getting a lot more assists now. So that is one thing to look at with favor. So, we don't have, I don't think we have a first round draft pick this year. So I think we're going to play Chisholm against the Wild. He should still be in the net. So, and then after that, maybe we'll throw Joonas Korpisalo in for the next one, or maybe the second game of the back-to-back, depending on which team is doing better. So first period, 2-0. We need this. Holy crap. Eric Gustafsson and Matt Siemens. Second period, 2-0 still. And in the third, it's a 3-0 with victory. Kuznetsov throwing in the empty netter. So it's Matt Siemens by Dzingel and Kapanen, Gustafsson by Jamel Smith and Matt Luff, and Kuzi by Teravainen, and again assisted by Patrick McDonald, Patty Mick. Alrighty, so now we need to skip ahead to the next one. We are 83 points on the season. We're 4 points ahead of the Islanders, who just lost 2 in a row. So we kind of needed that, right? So we are officially like 3 or 4 points just into the playoffs, and we're not playing poorly. So the Sharks are playing quite well. Where's San Jose? Way over here, right? And then we have Winnipeg after. So the Sharks are third in their division. The Jets are third in their division. So I guess it doesn't really matter which goalie goes up against which team. So we're just going to kind of let it play out. There's 12 games left in the season. First period, 1-0, and it's Torrey Krug. We only have 5 shots to their 11 after the first. Second period, 2-1, and Patrick McDonald finally puts it in the net. And in the third, it's a 2-1 victory for Halifax. We're struggling to get goals a little bit here down the stretch. Torrey Krug with his 10th. So now the defenseman, Torrey Krug, has double-digit goals assisted by Teravainen and Kuznetsov, and Patrick McDonald with his 46th by, you guessed it, Kuznetsov and Teravainen. All right, so we're going to move on to the next game up against the Winnipeg Jets. I think that Ryan Chisholm was in the net. So yeah, okay, so now we're going to be watching this really closely, right? So now the Islanders have played 3 games and lost 3 in a row. Now we have 40 wins on the season, but we are... Okay, so now we're like 6 or 7 points into a playoff spot again suddenly, right? So we just need to keep up this kind of play, and I feel like we're going to be doing just fine. Do we think Patrick McDonald could win the Maurice Richard this year? I don't know, man, but I'm really hoping so. So up against the Winnipeg Jets, first period, it's 1-0, and Korpisalo is in the net. Second period, 1-0. Oh, man. Third period, it's a 2-1 loss, but Patrick McDonald gets the one and only goal for the Halifax Buccaneers, assisted by, you guessed it, Teravainen and Gino Kuznetsov. So now we're going to move on to the 73rd game of the season. We hit 40 wins this year. We're only 5-5 in our last 10 games. Oh my goodness. We got more back-to-backs coming up. So it looks like what we're going to do here is I'm going to play Chisholm. No, we're going to play Chisholm for this game that we're about to do. We're going to play Chisholm for this game, and I'm assuming the next game. How's Montreal doing? Montreal is doing very poorly. How's Dallas doing? Dallas is doing very well. So you know what? We're going to play Korpisalo up against the Habs, and we're going to play Chisholm up against the Dallas Stars. Hopefully, out of the next 3 games, at least we can get like 2 wins, because I feel like that'll kind of secure us a little more here. So in the first period, it is 1-0 for Los Angeles. Adrian Kempe puts it in. Second period, it's a 1-1 tie, and Jake Virtanen on the power play. And in the third... 3-1 victory. It's Matt Siemens and Kasperi frickin' Kapanen putting them in the net. Virtanen by Patty Mick and Teravainen. Kapanen by Teravainen and Matt Siemens. And Matt Siemens with his 35th of the year by Torrey Krug and Ryan Dzingel. So I'm really starting to think, guys, that Matt Siemens could be taking over that number 1 center spot very, very soon. We are 4 points. 5 points out of top spot in our division, but all the teams above us have a game in hand. So what we're going to do now up against the struggling Montreal Canadiens, I'm really hoping we can hit 100 points this year. We got 9 games to get 13 points. If we can have a decent winning record for the rest of the season, I think we could, or otherwise I think we're going to just come close to 100 points. But I think Ryan Chisholm is pretty much... I was going to say the goalie of the future for us, but actually I'm thinking Rock Mantha is going to be the goalie of the future for us. I'm hoping next season he can be our backup. First period against the Montreal Canadiens, it's a 1-1 tie, and Matt Siemens gets another one. In the second period, it's 3-2 for Montreal. That's no good. And in the third, it's a 4-3 victory. Patty Mick with a double goal period, and he completes the comeback, man. We win the game. Holy crap-a-moly, man. So Matt Siemens by Kapanen and Dzingel, Kuznetsov with his 24th of the year by Teravainen and Patrick McDonald, and then Patrick McDonald with 2 goals, one by Jamel Smith and Teravainen, the other by Kapanen and Kuznetsov. So Kuznetsov proven he is a big game player, as well as Patrick McDonald, who is on pace for well over 9. Well, he's on pace, I would say, for 92 points this year, something like that. But the Halifax Buccaneers are slowly moving up. slowly getting closer to the top of those standings. They're liking the locker room interactions. That's 100% what we want to hear. Look at that. Ryan Chisholm, 910 save percentage. Korpisalo still at a 901, but you know what? I am happy enough with our goaltending now this season that I'm going to shut up about it. So now they've caught up to us. There's no more games in hand. And we are just a couple of points behind the Capitals for that third spot, and the Flyers, who are tied with the second spot. So let's simulate the game up against the Dallas Stars. Let's just keep this train rolling. First period, 2-1 Dallas, but Kapanen gets one past Varlamov. They are out shooting us. In the second, it's 4-2 for the Halifax Buccaneers, and Patty McIntyre, that top line of ours, is getting it done. And in the third, it's an 8-3 victory. Dzingel with double goals. Kapanen with a goal. Kuznetsov with a goal. And you know what? That's a good game played by Ryan Chisholm. He let in 3 goals, but he faced well over 30 shots. Kapanen with his 17th by Dzingel. And Patty Mick with his 50th goal of the season by Teravainen and Torrey Krug. Obe Kubel with his 19th by Krug and Pajot. Teravainen with his 15th by Kuzi and Patty Mick. Dzingel by Kapanen and Siemens. Kapanen by Siemens and Dzingel. Dzingel by Kapanen. Kuzi by Teravainen. And Luke Snuggerud. So Kuzi now has 25 goals on the year as well. Matt Siemens having an absolutely phenomenal season again. It looked like he might actually be having a bit of a down year. And then out of nowhere, it's like he has really turned it on and looked super sharp. So again, we're going to have to be a lot more conscious about what teams we're facing. All right, so now we're going up against where am I looking? Detroit. Is Detroit in the... Yeah, so Detroit and New Jersey, both struggling teams. So I think this time, you know what? I'm actually going to exit out of the edit lines. You know what? This time, we're just going to let it play out. Because honestly, we're playing against two pretty not great teams right now. We are having a phenomenal run to the end of the season, but now that I've said that, we need to be careful here. All right, so first period up against the Devils. See, we're down 2-0 just like that. And second period, it's 2-1. We cut the lead in half. Got one past Holtby. And in the third, we absolutely get demolished by the Devils. So we had 2 goals in this one. The 19th of the year for Kasperi Kapanen by Ryan Dzingel. And then Eric Gustafsson with his 6th by Teravainen and Kuznetsov. But we gave up 5 goals up against a not great team. Nate Schmidt has a sprained wrist until April 10th. So I'm going to do some line editing, and I will edit that out, and we'll be right back. So we did have to put Zach Bogosian back on our lines because Nate Schmidt, again, is injured for about a week. We got 6 games left in the season. We are still well enough into the playoffs right now that I'm not too concerned that Nate Schmidt is going to really make or break us. The Detroit Red Wings, though, they are 1-8-1 in their last 10, meaning they are kind of due for a win. So first period, 1-0 for Halifax. It's Jake Virtanen again. I'm really happy I traded for Virtanen, man. Second period, it's 3-1 for Halifax, and Snuggerud and Patty Mick both getting goals. And in the third, it's a 4-2 victory. Torrey Krug with that dagger of a goal. So Virtanen with his 15th by Pajot, Snuggerud by Gustafsson, Patty Mick by Kuzi and Teravainen, and Torrey Krug by Gino Kuznetsov, who has a multi-assist night. We just cannot afford too many more freaking injuries right now. So we have 5 games to get 7 points to hit 100 points. And again, now we're going up against a couple of not terrific teams right here, man. It's like the Sabres are kind of middle of the pack. The Blue Jackets are like worst. You know, after that we got the Leafs. They are an incredibly powerhouse team, right? But we got a couple of not so great teams we're going up against in the meantime on the way to them, right? So up against Columbus, first period, we're up 2-0 and Teravainen gets them both. I don't mind that at all. He was definitely a really good offseason pickup for us. Second period, 4-0 and it's Virtanen and Patty Mick. And in the third, it is a 6-0 victory. Patty Mick gets multiple goals. Yet again, oh my goodness, look at Patty Mick's night, man. Teravainen by Krug and Patty Mick. Teravainen by Kuzi and Patty Mick. Virtanen by Pajot and Obe Kubel. Patty Mick by Teravainen. Patty Mick by Kuzi and Pajot. Torrey Krug by Siemens and Patty Mick. Patty Mick just had a 5-point damn night. Holy freaking crap, dude. So there's 4 games left, but Eunice Korpisalo's out with a concussion until the 11th. So who do we have? I can't even remember who we have in the minors. Something tells me it's like the Hamburglar or something. I'm not even going to edit this one out because it's only going to take a second. No, we got Per Nilsson. Per Nilsson from the minors. I'm going to have to bring maybe him. No waivers. And then we got Taylor Gauthier. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to have to call up Per Nilsson. Go to edit lines. Or I hope to God we didn't have a freaking... Whoa, Miles Strombolopoulos. Okay, that's his name. Strombo. So we're going to have to throw Ryan Chisholm up there. We're going to have to throw Per Nilsson into the net. And that's all she wrote. Back to edit lines. We'll throw Gauthier in there. And I know we got, Strombo, Zombie Apocalypse here, who is a 21-year-old undrafted backup goalie that was created by the game just a moment ago. All right, so after a 6-0 freaking shutout victory against the Columbus Blue Jackets. There we go. Now we're losing morale because of locker room interactions. We lost locker room chemistry even though we won. We have clinched the playoffs now. Okay, so the next team in line is 8 points behind us, and it is the New York Islanders. So we have 4 games left. We have clinched the playoffs, but it all is going to be a question of where in the playoffs do we land. Up against the Buffalo Sabres. First period, 2-1 Buffalo. Oof. They got Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in net there. Pajot did get one for us, though. Second period, it's 3-2 for Buffalo. Torrey Krug getting one past Luukkonen. And in the third, we are able to tie it up. It is Matt Siemens. Now, in the overtime, nothing gets accomplished. In the shootout, we actually take the win. Big comeback game. Huge win for us. Inconsequential 1 point given to the Buffalo Sabres, who are right at the bottom of the standings. Or right in the middle of the standings. No, not really much chance of getting the playoffs, I don't think. But Pajot with his 11th by Obe Kubel and Gustafsson. Torrey Krug by Teravainen. And Matt Siemens with his 37th by Teravainen and Patrick McDonald. Patrick McDonald, I don't think he's gonna get 9 points in 3 games. But we have 3 games to get 3 points. We are 8-2-0. All right, so we're going to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then for the Vancouver game, Nate Schmidt will be back in our lineup. Yes, we are going to simulate both. We're gaining that locker room chemistry back, and then after that game, Korpisalo will be able to come back at the end of the season, should we need him, but Toronto versus Halifax, first period, it's 1-0 Toronto. Cameron McDonald scores on Ryan Chisholm. Second period, 2-2 tie. Mitch Marner gets one, but Matt Siemens with 2 goals in this one to tie it. The shots are 18-10 Halifax, and in the third, it's a 4-2 freaking Toronto win, so we'll have to pay attention. Cameron McDonald gets his 23rd, so he must have picked her right up, man. He must have picked his freaking game up. Something fierce, man. Matt Siemens with his 38th by Krug. Matt Siemens with his 39th by Eric Gustafsson. And Ryan Dzingel. So after this is all done, as well as we always do, we are going to have to go and look at our created people. Come on, we got to get like a win and a half here, man. All right, so I'm going to go to edit lines. I will edit this out. We're putting Nate Schmidt back. All right, so Nate Schmidt is officially back in our lineup. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So going up against the Vancouver Canucks, who are also a pretty halfway decent team. Like I said, we have clinched a playoff spot. It's all just a question now of what do we do with said playoff spot, right? What playoff spot are we going to get? I don't even know if we have a chance to move up anymore, but first period against Vancouver, we are up 3-1. It's Teravainen, Pajot, and Dzingel. Second period, we are up 5-1. It's Virtanen and Dzingel getting another one. And in the third, 6-1. Matt Siemens, who I believe just got his 40th goal of the season. Dzingel unassisted with his 11th. Pajot with his 12th by Jones and Virtanen. Teravainen by Kuzi and Seth Jones. Dzingel by Seth Jones and Torrey Krug. Virtanen with his 17th by Pajot and Albe Kubel. And Matt Siemens by Blippi himself and Ryan Dzingel. Matt Siemens does, in fact, have 40 goals on the year. And Patty Mick actually got blanked for the second game in a row. So we are up to 99 points. We are a wild card team. We have no chance. Oh, hold on. Edit lines manually. Yeah. We don't want him to come back and like lose morale or nothing, right? As we take on the Nashville Predators in the final game of the season. Here we go, everybody. This one could get exciting. Probably not. Anyway, first period, 1-1. It's Patrick McDonald, who is blanked off the freaking score sheet for quite a while there. Second period, 3-1, and Patty Mick gets on the board again. And in the third, it's 4-1. Patty Mick with a hat trick in the final game of the damn season. Patty Mick with his 54th by Kuzi and Blippy. Virtanen by Krug and Pajot. Patty Mick by Pajot. And Patty Mick by Virtanen and Pajot. Wow. Great night for Patty Mick and the rest of the third line. So we were able to hit 100 points this season. Absolutely phenomenal end of the year. So what we're going to do is we are going to look at our team stats very quickly just to see who led the parade and by how much. So Patrick McDonald absolutely demolished on our team this year. Matt Siemens did pull off another 65-plus season. He's got over 200 career points as a 22-year-old. This year was a pretty decent one for him. Not like last year. That was definitely a breakout year for Matt Siemens. Look at his physical play. It's just, and his defensive play is absolutely absurd. But he is a very slow player. Oh my goodness. Anyway, who else did what? Actually, you know what? I'm just going to... Oh my God. Pajot actually had like 46 points. And Kapanen was a minus, but he had 55 points this year. So another really big year for Kasperi Kapanen. He has really blossomed into a pretty solid player for us. And there's Jake Virtanen with that career high 18 goals, career high 39 points on the season, absolutely proving that he belongs here. Oh my goodness, who else did what? Everyone on this team, in my opinion, looked pretty solid. So we're very quickly going to see who the league leaders were, and then we're going to go check out our created people. Yeah, Tyler Sagan's going to win that every day, right? Tavares, O'Reilly, Kopitar, McDavid hit 100 points. Marchand was right up there. Jack Eichel almost did it. John Klingberg, Malkin, Ben. All right, let's take a look at our created people, what they all accomplished. Patrick McDonald, obviously number one. Don't need to look at him, but Aiden Naus, who is now 83 overall for the New York Rangers. In his sophomore year, after having a 10-point rookie season, had a 76-point true rookie season. The 20-year-old almost cracked 40 goals this season, but 76 points. That is absurd, man. Ethan Bryant, who is emerging as a superstar in Chicago, the 22-year-old center in his fourth season, had a career-high 33 assists, career-high 67 points, career-high 63 freaking penalty minutes. Holy crap-a-moly, man. And a career-high 26 power play points. Big-time special teams guy, big-time center playmaker. Man, Darren McDonald with the Washington Capitals has himself a 70-point sophomore year. So everything is coming up with these guys looking really, really solid. D-Mac needs to improve that speed. Cameron McDonald looks like he turned things around for the Leafs, but actually has a career low 30 points this year for your Toronto Maple Leafs. But he is only 4 goals shy of 100 on his career. Hopefully he can turn everything around. David Finley goes to the Florida Panthers and has a 43-point season. Not a career high. Tied for a career high in goals. But it was a career high in games played. So, what do you do? Anyway, still looking pretty solid. He was taken 8th overall. He's got a contract coming up. We got Oliver Dupuis still kicking it in Rimouski, the 7th overall pick, the high top 9 forward potential grinder, who should be coming up pretty soon. And then in net, we look over at Rock Mantha, the high starter who played for the Niagara Ice Dogs this year in the minors. I believe should be taken over as the backup goaltender for us next year, because Ryan Chisholm is definitely going to be our starter for at least another year or two. He had a halfway decent season. If we look at his career stats, 138 wins, 87 losses, 21 OT losses, 16 career shutouts, and a career .913, .266. Not freaking bad, man. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. In the next episode of this Halifax Buccaneers franchise mode, we will be doing round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. There's new videos coming every goddamn day. And until next time, have a good one, people.